It is time for the CCL Summers 8 battle. It's going to be a great draft day that we have tonight. We get to walk through everything, through the bracket, through the teams, through the players, and see who is going to face off into the tournament over the weekend. My name is Seymour. Alongside me is the Dashing Cruz himself. And I mean, Cruz, it's going to be a great day. I'm excited to see the players and what we get for teams and the bracket that is going to come post today. So why don't you walk us through how the format of today is going to go?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the format for the whole weekend is today is obviously day one. It's going to be our draft day. Everybody's going to be just going through today, picking out our teams. It's going to be a snake draft style. So we'll have 16 different team captains going through a pool of players who joined into the CCL tournament, obviously. And by the time we get to the end of it, we're going to have 4 teams of 4, and everybody's just going to be slotted into a 16-team bracket. It should be a fantastic day, Colin.
It should be a fantastic day. You can see the bracket on your screen. Yes, it is empty, and yes, these slots will be filled by the end of tonight or whenever the bracket gets posted for this. But as you can see, it is a double elimination bracket. When you reach the end of the road for this into the grand finals, the team out of the losers round 6 will face into that grand final, and they'll have to win a double best of 5. So that's going to be an interesting one when we do get there, but we still have to get through draft day first, Cruz. Let's go look at the captains that we do have and run through this so we can see onto the screen towards my left. It is going to be the captains down the road: Fishity, Crooked, Red Chase, Fastballer, Dr. Perseus, Tactic, Catalyst, Relk, Venet, Buzz, Beaston, Testin, Mental, Plasma, Josh, and Lurid. So this is going to be a great day. All these players are going to be picking throughout the night, Cruz. It's fantastic. I mean, I know there's a few notes, so actually, I don't have it in front of me. We have some people that are picking instead of these captains too, so we can look out for that as well.
Yeah, so Snow, who is a CCL player for, trying to think of the team name now. It's University of Texas at Dallas, I believe. He's going to be picking for Crooked today, and then Alberts, who's actually one of our CCL admins, will be picking for Lurid, who is also not here. And then Rampage, who was originally supposed to be a captain, ended up dropping out, so it will be Josh, who is in his place of being a captain now.
Okay, and I know we had it a little bit earlier for today. So before we get into all of this, let's take a look at our schedule for the weekend as well, because today you can see draft day on the 12th. Is what's taking place at the moment. Tomorrow's going to be scrim day for these teams, so when they do mix into their teams of 4, they're going to have a day to scrim amongst each other. And then on the 3rd day of the tournament, on the 14th, is going to be day 1 of the tournament, and day 2 will be on the 15th. And just as a reminder, on the 14th and 15th, the tournament will start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. The first place team is going to take home $600, second place team $300, and the third place team $100. So a lot of money on the line, and a great bit of Call of Duty to be played as well, Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited, man. I feel like I'm on ESPN right now. We're about to be covering a whole live draft, and I mean, I think we might as well start getting into this one pretty soon here.
I think it is about time, and I have to ask you beforehand because we do have a lot of players to choose from. I mean, anything that's kind of piquing your interest? I know we were going through these players yesterday. Anything you kind of write down to be watching out for?
I mean, I see a couple familiar names. Afro, obviously, really good, from California State University, Long Beach. I mean, there's a lot of really good players here. A lot of new players as well that haven't fully been inside of CCL yet, haven't made their full debut yet. So this will be a nice debut for them to kind of show everybody what they've got for before our next season starts up. Obviously, for whatever our next title is going to be as well. So, I mean, anybody that you have your eyes on as well?
Well, not too many people that I have my eyes on. If I was going to be highlighting anything, I would like to see just these new players step up to the plate, because I feel like we know what we're going to get from the players that we saw from last year and into the season. But I mean, to close out on this into the summer tournament, I feel like I'm excited to see what the new players can bring into the style. So super excited to see what comes out of that. But I mean, yeah, Cruz, I feel like it's just time to get through this thing and get right down to business.
All right, well then, I mean, we might as well call it then officially on the clock then here for our first round. He's going to be the first person making a pick here. And so we're just going to have to wait for him to get dragged on up into here. We'll see what he decides to do with his first pick. But I mean, a lot of big names on the board. So, I mean, having this first pick, it's huge. You could absolutely set the pace for this entire draft to see who you want. You've got an entire board to pick from. So, we'll see.
Howdy, how are you guys doing today?
Welcome.
I'm going to take Purge first overall in this CCL draft.
Okay. There we
Alright.
have it. And you're going to see Purged Army is going to be the first round draft from Fishity. Crooked is going to be the next up, so he's going to be on the clock next as well. And while we get him ready and situated for Snow to be picking out for him as well. I mean, Cruz.
Hello.
Oh, welcome. You're already ready.
Wow,
Wow.
we're flying through this.
We're flying.
That's what we love to see.
Sorry about that.
I mean, all
I-
good.
I'm gonna be taking Airstrike.
That's a big name off the board right there. Airstrike. He's a pretty good S&D player from my understanding as well. So I mean, we'll have to see what he can do here in this. But I mean, that's a big pick, especially playing alongside Crooked in this tournament. I mean, that's going to be some talent on that team. That's for sure.
And just for anybody who's wondering beforehand, just in behind the scenes, these players, they do have a maximum of 1 minute to accept the call to the stage, and once they're called onto the stage, they have 15 seconds to pick these the player that they're going to be drafting. So you do have time to think this over, and I'm sure these players already have an idea for this first round. They've been sitting, looking at the player board for a long time, but I am going to call Red Chase now, and he's going to be on the clock as our third captain up for this first round draft pick. Excited to see who he picks. I do know Red Chase is actually a really good player. If I was gonna have anybody on my eyes, I mean, he's one of them for the year. But Red Chase, welcome to the booth.
What's up? What's up? I'm gonna pick That's Draco.
Okay.
That was another big name on the board. I was expecting to see you go early as well, Draco. Very, very talented player in the CCL. We saw him all last season. He absolutely turned up multiple times, and I mean, we'll just have to see what he can do. But I mean, if he can bring what he brought from Texas State University last year, I mean, him and Red Chase, they can absolutely start to run through this team. And our next pick, that is that is an interesting one. We'll see what Fastball decides to do. His first CCL action, and Fastball is now on the clock.
Bit excited to see what Fastball can bring to the CCL as well. It's a name that I've been keeping my eyes out to see what kind of effect he can bring into the scene, and excited to see who he wants on his team for this first round draft pick.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because his teammate in Airstrike, that's one of his teammates that he normally plays a lot with. So Airstrike's gone already. So that would have probably been his safe pick. But Andrew Crooked and Snow, they must have been like, you know what, we're gonna come in, we're gonna hit him with something else, not give him what he wants to do here.
It has to be interesting, into this AIDS tournament. I mean, I'm sure that some of these players, they want to get some reps under the belt,
Hello?
but before that, we got Fastball.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we
we
can.
can hear you.
Yeah, I select wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so Cruz, what I was saying though about these players for the AIDS tournament is I'm excited to see, because I'm sure a lot of these teams, they want to get some reps with their teammates on stream live for the coming season for the CCL, but I don't think a lot of them are going to get that chance. I'm sure that they're going to be experimenting with some solo players that they want to try out with in the different CCL teams. So I mean, there's plenty to choose from, plenty to see, but with some names off the board, these will be the remaining. As another thing to highlight as well for people watching is that not everybody through the player board will be picked tonight. So a lot of these players will be free agents at the end of the night.
Yeah, and also, I know you were kind of mentioning earlier the whole 1 minute that they have to pick. If they don't pick that player in the 1 minute, their pick then just gets transferred on to the next, and then they have to pick from the pool of free agents at the very end. And it just goes first come, first serve at that situation. But I believe we can get our next person on the clock now as well. So it's going to be Dr. Perseus, who is now on the clock. But yeah, to kind of go on to your point as well from earlier on, it's kind of interesting because CCL's kind of in that transition stage of when it first started, it was a lot more of, hey, we've got a couple players at our school that like to play COD. Let's get them together. Let's join the CCL. Now it's kind of pushing into, and we saw a lot of it last year from the University of Ottawa teams, where schools are actually going out and picking up players to come and play for their schools. So it's definitely getting to a kind of a new stage of CCL now.
Yeah, so we got Dr. Perseus, our next captain to pick. excited, and like you said, yeah, I mean, it's a different game now. CCL has gone from a small idea now to the big stages. It feels like, but a lot of growing space to see. Excited to see what happens. But Dr. Perseus, welcome to the booth. Who are you gonna pick?
I got Afro.
Afro.
Yeah, it's a big pick right there.
That's a huge one. Well, thank you, Dr. Perseus. That's Afro off the board. Onto that first round draft pick for Dr. Perseus. Tactics going to be on call or on the clock for the next for the next pickup of players. But back to the point that you were making, Cruz, I definitely feel like things are going to shake up in the season of CCL.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see too, just from that last pick of how Afro is going to play with some different players, because he's on a very stacked team of that CSULB team. So I mean, it'll be interesting to kind of see him with some players he's not used to playing with, see if he's able to pop off the way he normally does, because he does run that aggressive SMG role, if I can remember correctly in my mind. But he, I mean, top 16 in CCL playoffs from this last season, absolutely no slouch when it comes to Afro.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these top players from that CCL playoffs will kind of look to be taken early into this, but we do have Tactic ready to bring to the stage, ready to get his first round draft pick. So let's see what's going on. So Tactic's gonna take Nira.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't able to get up in here. So Nira now off the board as well. So that would put Catalyst now on the clock. So we'll have to just see what he does with his pick when he gets to that stage. But I mean, there's a lot of exciting things going on in COD right now. We got we got this obviously this weekend, and then next weekend we got champs as well for the CDL, and that's gonna be a huge weekend as well.
Oh, welcome, Catalyst. This thing is rolling. I love it.
All right, guys. Hello. I'm gonna go with T-shirt.
Okay. The T-shirt is a name I do recognize as well, Cruz. So to see T-shirt go, it's gonna be well, it's also a name that I expected to go early, so not too surprised on that one. But another player off the board, and I mean, you were saying lots of Call of Duty going on. We got CCL this weekend, CDL champs coming up. I know I don't want to like put you on the spot here, but any hot takes you have for the CDL champs?
Oh God! What? I mean, I'm not gonna do this here.
No.
I mean, the heart and soul of me wants to see Optic take it, but I just really like, especially with that whole thing of Scump getting sick. Like, I don't know. That's gonna be tough. Who knows if they're even all gonna be able to be there playing. So, I mean, you got to look at FaZe. FaZe got to be the favorite still going into it, obviously. But I don't know. Anybody you got your eye on? I know you're a Minnesota stan at heart, so.
I'd love to see Minnesota do it again, but we'll have to see when that comes out. We still got some players drafting here, and Relk into the chat. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm gonna draft Tommy Chappas, my pick.
All right,
Chappas off the board. So that's gonna put Venet on the clock now as well for us. So when we wait for him to get dragged on up, yeah. I mean, like we were kind of talking with champs, like it's a hard one, man. Like
it is.
I don't think anybody expected to see Minnesota get that reverse sweep against Toronto in that last major. So I mean, I feel like you can't even count them out of it now. I think there's like 4 teams that could probably go into this and contest to win it. And Clayster's back now too on NYSL. So
how's it going?
Welcome, Bennett.
All right, I'm gonna be picking Locke.
Lock
Yeah.
off the board, first round draft pick. That's another one. Thank you for that one, Bennett. So Lock is gonna be locked into that round 1 draft. But you said lots of people to be contesting champs. Excited to see it. You know what's a funny story for that major is I didn't even get to watch it. I was working, and I tuned into it and I saw they're in game 9. And I'm like, whoa, this is a great one. I didn't know because I was working until after that it was a reverse sweep, best of 9. But we are gonna bring Buzz into it. He's ready to go.
Hello?
So Buzz, welcome.
Yo, I'm gonna take YY Benji.
All right, Benji. That's
not producer Benji.
Not producer Benji.
Oh, I wish it was, but
we all wish it was producer Benji. Unfortunately, we need him in here behind the scenes right now. But it's another name off the board. I mean, just looking at this board right now, any big names up here that are still kind of hanging around. I mean,
Crit?
Crit for sure. I feel like Curve also. I feel like I've seen that name before. He's definitely very good as well. So I'd be surprised to not see them go in the first round, to be honest. Playoff Crit, yeah, that's right. Benji in our ears. But,
Ben, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll see if Playoff
J-Mac
Crit can show up
too.
here. Yeah.
Surprised to see J-Mac still on the board. I mean, there's plenty of names that I'm excited to see turn up. I mean, we don't have too much information on the up and coming players, but
What's up?
excited to see what happens. But we got Beaston in the chat.
What's good?
Welcome.
I'm gonna shoot Bolt.
Bolt.
Sorry, who?
Bolt the unit.
Bolt the unit. You don't know Bolt the unit, Cruz?
I didn't hear. That was that was my ear going off there. But Bolt the unit off the board. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be Teston now, who's on the clock. So I mean, this is rolling around. We're already 10 picks in. Got 4 or 5 left. Teston's already in here as well. Teston, go ahead, give us your pick.
I'm gonna go with Scripps out of Texas State University.
Gives the name, the school. He wanted Scripps on his team.
Yeah, he was ready. He was absolutely ready. He knew exactly who he wanted. And I mean, that was a snap call too. He absolutely had that ready to go. So I mean, maybe Scripps fell all the way down that draft to 11th just for him to be able to pick him up, put him on his team. I mean, I don't think he'll complain. Mental on the clock now though as well. We'll just have to see what these guys keep on deciding to do with this draft, but it's just interesting because at this stage of the draft too, we get to the point where everybody is in a spot where once they hit through these final 4, they're going to be going again and just 4 more picks after they get these because of the snake draft format. So this is where it can get really interesting. These bottom couple teams can absolutely be really stacked because you're not going to get one of those top guys, but you can absolutely grab 2 or 3 guys who you think could be bottom first rounders, early second round picks here in this draft. But we do have Mental ready to go here. So Mental, why don't you make your pick?
Already, I'm gonna go with Tased.
Tased. Okay, another one off the board. Into it. There goes Tased. I can't believe there's some players on here that I actually can't believe haven't been drafted yet. Specifically, like I said, Crit and J-Mac. I mean, maybe players are just waiting to pick them up into the late game, but
they're sleeping on them.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. There could be some sleepers in this that we just don't know as well.
I mean, players probably know best right now, to be honest. But we are gonna put Plasma on the clock, and he's already in the booth. Plasma, welcome.
All right, give me 2v2 S&D star Q-Pan.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
We get a little bit of information on the player. So Q-Pan, clearly a S&D star. He's ready to go out here. So that's what that team's going for. Plasma and Q-Pan. They're just ready to go. Run up the S&D. I mean, hey, S&D wins championships, right? That's what they always say.
Gotta win your 2s and 5s. Gotta win your 2s and 5s, everybody. So picking up an S&D star, it's not the worst thing that you could do. But you know what that means? That means that Josh is on the clock. And Josh, he's off the clock and in the booth.
Hey guys, what's up? I'll be taking Beastly 8 with my pick.
You know, Cruz, I think that this is interesting to kind of feel because I can't wait to see how these round 1 draft picks do in the tournament. I think that these are players that you obviously know the captains have been thinking about it for quite a while. They have it on their mind and they're just looking to fire away right away. So this is going to be interesting to see how these round 1 players end. But I think it's time to finish off on a round 1. Bring Alberts up to pick for 47 and see who he wants to take into this draft. Alberts, welcome.
Sorry, I just realized my mic was muted. I'm picking Daniel Dobsky.
Daniel Dobsky going to be joining Lurid 47. Thank you, Mr. Wonderful Admin.
I'm a big Alberts fan, by the way.
I think we're all big Alberts.
Yeah,
if you're in the CCL Discord, you're a big Alberts fan. Absolutely.
Let's take a look at that player board. Let's look at who we got left after the round 1 is finished. All the round 1 draft picks are gone, and this is who's left. Screws.
Yeah, I mean, J-Mac Crit still on the board. 2 guys we expected to see go early here, so a little bit surprised by that. I mean, just kind of looking through still, trying to just see if there's any names that like really pop off the board to me. For people
Daniel Dobsky was another player, so seeing him go in the round 1, I recognize him. I mean, he's a player I expected to go early as well. I didn't highlight him earlier, but with round 1 done, Cruz, I mean, you asked me who I was looking at who was still left, and you got an opportunity to skim through this. Anybody pop out to you?
I mean, two teams. Are you talking from the player board or from
Player
the teams
board.
that have
Player
from
board
the
right
player
now.
board? Man, I mean, honestly, not really. I just there's so many names up here that it's kind of hard to just like give a good grasp on it because there's so many new players. I mean, Raiju. I don't want to butcher his name. He's up in the top right. Raiju, I think, is how his name is. But I believe he plays for Humber. So, I mean, Humber's always been a pretty decent team as well in the CCL. So, I mean, it's a surprise to still see him up there as well. But yeah, round 1 done and dusted here.
Round 1 done and dusted. We are going to hop off for the casters for a little bit of a break while we let these captains stir and get a glimpse at who they want to pick up for the round number 2. So we're just going to hold it onto this board, let the players stir, and when we come back, we're going to get that round number 2 underway for you. And welcome back to the CCL 8's draft day. It's been great so far. We're already through a round number 1, as you can see to the left of me, and we're heading into this round 2. The captains have had time to talk this over, think about the players that are left, and cruise. I mean, this has been great so far. It's been quick. I like what I'm seeing so far. Anything to highlight from the round 1?
I mean, I'm just looking at some of these teams. You got to think like the first couple teams who have gotten a chance to pick have definitely pulled out a pretty good chance. First overall pick in Purge Army as well, going officially. That's a pretty good team. Crooked and Airstrike is going to be a very good team as well. I mean, you can't knock out Dr. Perseus and Afro as well. I just think all three of these teams going to be very, very, very tough to beat. I mean, I think anybody in the top 5, in all honesty, are going to be looking really solid right now. But I mean, I feel like you really couldn't go wrong with a first round pick here, and I think this is where you're really going to win or break the draft, is in these round 2 and these round 3s when you're picking out through these next couple rounds. And it is a snake draft, so we're going to be picking up Albert's next as our next draft. He's going to be able to pick once again for Lurid here in round number 2.
Gonna be insane. So Lurid or Albert's on the clock, into the booth now. Who do you got picking up for round 2?
I've got Raiju. That's how you said it earlier. We're gonna go with that one.
Okay, big pickup there with Daniel Dobsky too. Love to see it. And while we're here, since we're talking about pickups and all of that, chat, I don't want to stray away from you either over on Twitch. Let us know, make some noise, talk about players you want to see getting picked up here as well. So it is going to be that round number 2 Lurid. Players left are going to be on screen to our left, but it seems like up next, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember how the order goes from bottom to top. So it is going to be Josh on the clock next.
And yeah, we'll just see what he wants to do here. His first pick was Beastly 8, so he's going to have to find a third to go with himself. And I mean, this must be hard for him too. You got to think he wasn't really fully prepared to be a captain today. It was kind of very last second he was chosen and pushed to being a captain. But Josh, welcome back once again to the stage. Who are you going to take here for your second pick?
Thank you. I'll be taking Blexy 4K.
Blexy 4K off the board. And I mean, it's joining on with him and with Josh and Beasley. I mean, it's looking like a pretty good team right now.
All these teams are good teams. Love it.
I mean,
I love the.
It's CCL. It's all good action no matter what, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. So with that being said, next up to pick is going to be Plasma. So Plasma's on the clock. Let's see who he's got picking up. The captain right out of Butler University. So as soon as he goes, we get that round number 2 pick for himself. I can't wait to get to this day. I mean, picking makes me so on edge right now to see what these teams are going to bring into the tournament. Every single time I see a pickup, I'm just like, okay, how are they going to mix on screen now? So there's so much to be sought after.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's right. He is not in a call. So Crook is going to be off the board now. So for team was that for again? Let's take for Plasma and QPan, so they're going to be adding Crook to the board now as well to their team. I believe that we're just having a small issue with the other graphics, so they're just trying to fix that up right now so we can get everybody back on screen and be able to see all these teams. We can see the teams in live right now.
Okay, so Kirk being picked up by Plasma. That's gonna be Mental on the clock now for this if we're round 2 pickup. And Mental's already in here. He's ready to fire away.
We love that.
Hello. I am gonna pick up Crit.
Okay, there we go. Crit off the board.
That's your guy, man. Yeah, you're always talking about playoff Crit, Colin.
I don't know what it is, but I love to see playoff Crit turn up. It's just unexplainable at times. The way that it just turns on a dime to see it. But we're gonna hop over to that captain screen again, see all the pickups that we do have. And since we left Black Sea on Josh's team, Crook to Plasma, and Crit to Mental, that means Testin's up next.
And I mean, with Testin, it's gonna be Scripps obviously joining him. Testin's here now, up in the board as well. Already here. Who you got here for your second round pick, Testin?
I'm gonna go with Darkify out of the University of Charlotte.
Good pick. Darkify going to be joining Testin and Script now here as their second round pick. I mean, next up on the board will be Beaston with his second pick, obviously. So he's got the B team right now, and Beaston in both the unit. We'll see who joins them, see if they continue with that trend.
Curious to see who he picks up, to be honest. I mean, there's a few things that we can see change up, but oh, look at this. Pally Boy. Pally Boy saying in chat, Darkify is a sleeper pickup. Like to see it, but Beaston's gonna be in here. Who you got for round 2?
I'm gonna swoop D-Sim. I think he's a sleeper.
All right.
And he said he would swipe.
Oh. Okay.
He said D-Sim, so I believe he's from the University of Michigan. So, I mean, definitely an interesting team there. I don't really recall the name too much from last season. It could just be I didn't get a chance to cast over him, but see what they decide to do with their next pick. Up next will be Buzz again, though, so we'll see what he decides to do here in round number 2. Some interesting teams starting to form here, though, Colin.
Yo.
Interesting teams indeed, but Buzz, who do you got?
I'm gonna take Petrovnator for my main AR.
Petrovnator, main AR role. I love that. You know, I used to be a main AR, Cruz. And then I took an arrow to the knee.
Oh, God. Colin used to be a maniac. I don't think I've ever seen you play Call of Duty once, Colin.
Hey, you don't need to call me out there. To be fair, I played.
As an Overwatch player,
I played in the CCL Modern Warfare opening tourney. By the way, just so you know.
How'd you guys do?
I lost round 1.
I'm not meaning to call my boy out like that, but I mean, it is what it is. Next up on the board will be Vinit, and we'll see who joins him in Latch for that team when he comes up here, makes his decision. But I mean, yeah, I feel like to be a caster, you have to have some sort of a background playing the games that you're going to be casting over for the most part. But Vinit is up here now. Vinit, who do you got for your second round pick?
I'm gonna go with J-Mac.
J-Mac, finally off the board. J-Mac, someone I was expecting to see go a little bit earlier, but he'll be joining Vinit and Lack now.
I mean, may not have done good in that tournament, but instantly got picked for a different team, so let's go. And now we're here. We get to see some good Call of Duty players play. So
I just noticed we got the Goat McCorn meal in the chat too.
Yeah, we love corn. We love corn. And so Relk is going to be on the clock now for this round number 2.
Try to like look through some of these players here. See, I'm totally blanking on this player list while I'm looking through these names right now. But I mean, these teams really right now it's just about them just trying to fill out, trying to see who they decide to pick up. We're just waiting once again on Relic just to kind of fly up into our into the live sheet here, pick who he's gonna grab. and I believe he can't hop up in it. So it's going to be infamous Revan that he's going to be taking for his next pick. Just saw that pop up in our chat.
Interesting one. You know, I used to base my favorite esport teams off of how cool the logo is. And in some situations here, I have based some of my favorite picks off of how much I like the name of a player I might not know. But you know, you know what? Infamous Revan, I love that name. You know, Infamous Revan. Mostly because it reminds me of Revan from his old COD days.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, some of this. The one thing I will say about COD players, man, y'all have the weirdest names sometimes, man.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna throw it out there, man.
All right. For my second pick, I'm gonna go with Stampy.
Sampy. I like that. You know, I heard some people in chat, or I saw some people in chat giving Sampy some gas, so that's a big pickup, I feel.
Especially give him this late in the draft with him getting love in the chat from I'm just looking at it right now. He's from Louisiana Tech University. I mean, and LT Red was a pretty damn good team last year in CCL. I believe they went fairly undefeated for a decent amount of time last year. So I mean, good to see them having some coverage from inside this draft.
Well, Tactic now going to be on the clock for his round 2 pick. So we are getting down to it now. Only, I think we're halfway through round number 2. Then we got round 3 and round 4. And okay, well, welcome Tactic to the booth.
Sweet, awesome. So for my round 2 pick, I'm gonna get a Stay Woke Andrew.
Sorry, what was that?
One more time.
My round 2 pick, I'm gonna get Stay Woke Andrew.
Stay Woke Andrew.
Stay Woke Andrew from the University of Colorado Boulder. All right. I mean, we all know how I feel about that school. That was my sleeper pick last year to win the whole thing. Colorado Boulder Black. Yeah, I mean that was my sleeper pick. They didn't end up doing it. What?
That was weird. I remember your playoff bracket. Your playoff bracket was weird.
Hey, I mean my playoff bracket I think did decently well last year until it got towards the end of it. That was probably like the one like big mistake because they ended up dropping a little bit earlier on in the bracket. But you know what? You live and you learn, right? But now pick'ems, I mean, my CDL pick'ems this year, that has been chalked from the very start. Those have not been it this year.
No. I stopped looking at those a long time ago. I just want you to know that. But Dr. Perseus is going to be next on the clock. And for his round number 2 pickup. Welcome to the booth.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Wall as mod.
Sorry, what was that?
Wall as mod.
Wall as mod. Gonna be going down. To Dr. Perseus and Afro. Trying to see if I have any information on Wall as mod in here right now. So he's from the University of Texas at Dallas. I mean, so definitely a big school down there. He's gonna have some good internet in Texas as well. So, I mean, never know. Could absolutely come out, pop off at the start of this.
Amen. I wish we saw some of those Canadian teams out there with that connection, but we do have fastball next onto the clock.
Yo.
No.
I get 2 picks since my first pick got withdrawn.
I don't believe so. I don't think that's how they're doing it.
All right, I'll take
You're gonna have to talk
Days.
to Gavin about that.
Sorry.
Daisiest.
Daisiest, okay. Thanks, fastball.
Bet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but I believe from everything that we were hearing earlier, Colin, I believe that he's gonna have to pick from the pool after. So we'll just wait for a note on that, see what he decides to do. Obviously, he'll get another pick shortly as well. So maybe they can clear all that up by the time it gets back around to him. So we just got notes. So it will be a free agent at the end that he'll be picking. So that's a big hit to fastball's team to lose your first round pick. It was what round was it? It was
round 1.
Yeah, no, obviously round 1, but it was the 4th overall pick. And it was Wisdom that ended up dropping. So I mean that's unfortunate to him, but Red Chase now on the clock once again.
Reaching back to the top. We do have the list of names for the remaining players on the left. Just as a reminder for anybody tuning in, not all players will be picked today. A lot of them will be going into the free agent slot towards the end of the tournament, and just like Fastball, how he has to pick a free agent up after the pick is done. So anybody else who wants a free agent to be drafted up. But Red Chase in the booth, welcome back.
I'm gonna pick Itchy.
Okay, Itchy. Down in the bottom left corner of the player list on Red Chase's team for that round number 2. Thank you.
Red Chase going to be joining Draco Itchy going to be joining Red Chase and Draco. I mean, I was thinking that team was looking dangerous before, but I mean, if Itchy can find a way to put himself in and fill in with that team, I mean, that team is going to be a scary team for this tournament. That might, looking at all the teams, that could be the favorite right now to possibly take it all.
It could be. We got 2 players left in this round 2 pick, Crooked and Fishity, but we are going to be calling Snow up onto the clock for this pick for Crooked, as he is going to be picking in place of the captain.
Hey.
Welcome back.
All right, I'm going to be taking Mr. Ray from Tulsa. I think he plays for OC now, though.
Ooh. Interesting.
I do remember seeing him on Tulsa last year, so obviously we don't really know player transfers too much in CCL. There's definitely going to be a lot of them from year to year. So, I mean, just from last year, I mean, Tulsa was kind of a sleeper school last year. They were one of those schools that was kind of on the cusp of making it in towards that top half, if I remember correctly. And once they did, they didn't do too hot. I don't recall if they made playoffs or not. Do you?
That was
a
long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's 64 teams. That's a long time.
A lot of teams a long time ago. I do say though, but you're talking about teams switching schools into the season. There are a few players, or at least one player I know of, that may have swapped schools. I don't want to talk about it because I don't know if it's true or not. But you know, I'm excited to see the swaps that do come into the season. But Fishity's going to be on the clock now. Last pick for round number 2. Excited to see what we get.
Fishity's already here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Alrighty. I'm gonna take Zip from the University of Oregon.
All right. So Zip going to be joining Fishity and Purge there as the final pick in round 2, and Fishity will be our first pick in round 3, obviously, as well, once we get towards round 3. But any of these teams standing out to you?
That Red Chase team, definitely.
Yeah,
and
right?
Red Chase team, and even, I mean, Lurid's team too at the bottom, 47. I think that both of them are getting some good pickups too, but I'm excited to see the sleeper picks that have been coming through the middle. I do think that Tactics team and Dr. Perseus aren't looking too bad whatsoever, but that with round number 2 coming to a close, we are going to throw it again to a little bit of a break to let these teams discuss, or let the captains think amongst themselves for their round number 3 pickups. And when we come back, we're going to see who exactly they're going to pick up to close off on their main roster of 4. So stay tuned, everybody, for some more action. Or not action, I guess. Draft day. Welcome back to Draft Day, everybody, for the CCL Summer 8 tournament. We're heading into this round number 3. Lots of names left to go over, but only limited spots as we're heading into the last 2 rounds. And after round 2 is over, I mean, Cruz, you asked me prior to this, but I'm asking you now. Any teams kind of sticking out to you?
I'm telling you, I'm looking at Crooked, Airstrike, and Ray. I think that team's going to be really dang good when we see them a little bit later in the tournament. I also, you know what? Honestly, this is going to be a little bit of a different pick, but I think Mental, Tased, and Crit also looks like a really dang good team as well. I think they could
disagree.
Really good fits for each other.
I don't disagree, but if we take a look at the players left now, from that after round number 2, you can see the names that are left over. The empty spots are the players that moved over into the other bracket before this, but names left over. And I forgot to mention as well, I'm surprised, you know, people have got to gas up my roommate. Like, I got to keep remembering that my roommate plays in this as well. Somebody's got to pick up my boy Chugs.
Yeah, we'll see if Chugs gets picked up. I mean, I think that's as good of a segment as any to once again call. I'm trying to
Starting with Fishity.
Yeah, it's Fishity who's going to be first on the board once again. We'll see when he pops in here who he decides to pick up with him and Purge Army and Zip to start this off. I thought he was up in here already.
I thought he was up in here too, but I went to go look. Well, here he is. Here he is. Fishity, welcome.
Oh, sorry. You're gonna have to count me down when it's time because I'm waiting on a few messages. So let me know when I'm about to run out of time there, because I know I'm on a clock.
Still got a lot of time. Got a lot of time.
All right. Well, while we wait on that, yeah, man. I don't even know, man. There's a lot going on right now. While I'm looking at, yeah, it is draft day. It absolutely is draft day.
You guys, gotta bear with us as well. We're just kind of rolling as things go to see what teams get put together.
Let me get a records cod. All
right. Going to be joining Fishity, Purge Army, and Zip as our first complete team without a substitute, obviously. But thoughts, Colin?
Thoughts over that one? I don't know too much about Zip and Purge or records to be fair, but I mean, if Fishity is vouching for him,
I mean, we know Fishity's a very good player.
I know Fishity's a good player, so we can see the vouch there. But with that done, it's gonna put Crooked on the clock as he's gonna pick his last player for the main roster. As you can see in round number 4, those are gonna be substitutes.
All right.
So yeah, Snow's gonna be up here as well because Crooked was unable to make it. So Snow, round number 3, who you got?
All right, I'm gonna be taking Shatter 921 because Fishity took my pick.
Oh. Fishity coming out with a stolen pick of Records COD. So Shatter 921 joining Crook, Airstrike, and Ray. I mean, that's still a very, very good team nonetheless. So apparently Records, though, in the 3rd round, a hot commodity.
That's gonna put Red Chase now on the clock. So for his round number 3 pickup, and as I was saying before that, round 4 is going to be a substitute for this because obviously the captain's going to be playing, so we got to watch out for that as well. But Red Chase, welcome to the booth. Who you got for round 3?
I will be picking the birthday boy from Ohio State, Crazy Train.
Birthday boy.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Crazy Train in the chat. People have been asking for him to be picked up. So Crazy Train on his birthday finally picked up here, round number 3, joining Red Chase, Draco, and Itchy. And
how are you guys gonna do that to him? How are you guys gonna wait till round 3? How are you guys gonna wait till round 3 to pick him up?
Yeah,
this is birthday.
That's kind of rude. All these guys can hear us. It's kind of rude, guys. Wait till round 3 to pick up Crazy Train. Come on, man.
It's things, man. I mean. But yeah, like you said, fastball on the clock. Round 3.
The chat is calling Crazy Train the steal of the draft.
Steal of the draft?
That's a lot of hype to live up to. Fastball, what's up?
Live on the thing. Yo, can I see the list? Where can I see the list? I select. Where's the list, bro? There's technical difficulties. I'm lagging right now.
Okay.
I don't. I don't think he has the full list set up and ready to go. So we're just gonna move on towards our next pick. That's very unfortunate for Fastball. He's gonna have pretty much a free agent team at this point. So Dr. Perseus now going to be on the board. And I mean, him, Afro, Wall as mod, he picks to join them. And that's his final 4th here. Really keep thinking that these players are being dragged up as I go to transition to them.
I'm trying to see who's left as well. I'm looking over at the player board and seeing players who are like, oh hey, look at that, it's on screen now. Thanks, shout out Benji into the back end. But we do have a couple players. I saw Curve getting some love in chat. Perseus, welcome to the booth. Who you got?
The chat is asking for Castle, so I'll take Castle.
There you go. Fan service.
The chat is literally deciding our draft at this point, but Castle will be joining Perseus's team. I believe that that is joining. So yeah, so Perseus, Afro, and Wall is mod. So it's gonna put Tactic on the clock now for his fourth pick, or for his third pick here.
Okay, chat. Who do you want to see the next one? Who do you want to see next get picked?
Seen Curve in the chat.
So I'm actually gonna go with somebody sent me a DM with some insider info. So I'm gonna go with Quiet, Brett Quiet, I believe.
Quiet. Okay, we're getting some ghost picks out here too.
I like that insider info. See,
Insider
some of
info.
these players, once we're getting down to a few of these names, they don't even know who they're taking right now. But it's all good. Everybody's gonna become friends by the end of this. Either that, or they're gonna become mortal enemies because it's the COD scene. But it is what it is. We're all gonna be here, have a fantastic time. But once again, I believe it's Catalyst now who we're gonna be putting on the board. So we'll see who joins T-shirt Champion himself.
Catalyst, welcome.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, guys. For my final pick, I'm going to put all my faith in this man's FFAR shot. I'm going to go with Poshki.
Poshki.
Okay. I haven't seen an FFAR in such a long time. But yeah, that isn't final pick for everybody wondering. They do have one more pick over in round 4. It will be the final pick for the main team, though.
The quote-unquote starting roster.
Starting roster, yeah.
You never know once we hit tomorrow and it's scrim day. They could be trying out these players, filling them in and out. These guys might not make the final team. You never even know, honestly.
That's why free agents are a thing, too.
Absolutely true. So it's going to put Relic on the clock now. See who joins him. Tommy Chappas and Infamous Revan, your favorite name that was on the board here earlier on. So Relic, welcome back. Who you got for your fourth pick here?
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Had to do research on this one just to find, because so many good players got taken off the board. But I'm gonna go with Chris on God.
Chris on God off the board. Colin coming in with the Toronto slang. We absolutely love that. I'm very sorry for anybody who's in chat that just had to hear us use Canadian slang.
Bennett on the clock. For the
You just fly that one right over, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, I'm gonna go with Neum.
So Neum also. So I mean, Chris on God and Neum right beside each other on the player board. So people are just going for the players in the middle now. But Neum gonna be joining Venet, Lack, and J Mac.
Okay.
And that's gonna put Buzz on the board.
Moose YTV, Sampy got picked. So we know he's OP. That's why he got picked up round 2.
You yelling at chat, Colin? All right, Buzz is up here. Buzz, who you got?
I'm gonna take Mercury.
Mercury. Oh, Mercury's from the University of Toronto, so I mean he'll get our Toronto slang at least.
I don't think that was just Toronto slang though.
I mean,
to be honest.
I feel, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like I've only ever heard people from Toronto say on God, but you know what? Maybe you're right. I'm not sure.
Maybe. No, it's I mean, there's plenty of players to get picked up and plenty of things to make it through. So that's gonna put Beaston on the clock now. And that means he gets to pick his round number 3. He's got limited time to see what goes through. Plenty of people also being gassed up in the chat. I see Godfather was calling out the Dank Tony, who's still there to be picked up.
Oh, right, he's not in here. So Prism Hunter is the next pick for Beaston. So he'll be joining Bolt the Unit, Decim, and Beaston. So I mean, see how they end up doing here. So next up, it's going to be Teston once again on the clock here. I mean, this is just flying by now. Yeah, I feel so bad for Fastball, man. I just keep looking at that team and I see 2 free agents and him and Daisius. I'm just like,
You know
oh,
what?
no.
Watch Fastball and still win. watch him still win. I think there's plenty of free agent players to pick up as well.
That's true. I mean, you don't know how some of these free agent players are going to do. That is a very good
Welcome
point.
testing.
I think I'm gonna go with Mari KSU.
Mari KSU
Awesome.
can be off the board, joining Testin, Scripps, and Darkify. So that's a pretty good team too, honestly. Testin, Scripps, Darkify, and Marky KSU. I mean, definitely can turn some heads.
Definitely can turn some heads indeed. Mental's gonna be on the clock now.
He's already here too.
I'm
Mental,
here.
you
I'm
got
in.
Wow.
I'm ready.
Oh. You know, Mental, I just want to say before you pick, you've been one of my favorite. Every single time we call you up, you're just electric, just right there.
I'm just here waiting. Just ready. All right, I'm going to take Will from, I believe, LA Tech, if this is the right Will I'm thinking of.
Okay. That means Plasma on the clock now.
I don't know if that's the same Will he was thinking, because I've got Florida International University as Will's school written down here. So you know, I mean, I could just have the wrong information as well. But
All right, hello.
hello,
Hi.
I'll go with Tempest since everyone's vouching for him.
Tempest getting some heavy vouches. Tempest going to be joining Plasma, QPan, and Kirk. So see how they end up doing.
You know what that means,
can
Cruz? You know what that means? It means that Josh is on the clock.
Colin's gonna make me feel a type of way by the end of tonight. Let me tell you guys.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Welcome back, Josh. Who you got here for your 4th pick?
Hi, for my pick, I'm gonna take Fanatical.
Fanatical. You were saying something, Cruz, about Tempest Fog being picked up.
I was just saying that team looks good as well. Honestly, I feel like those 3 or 4 spots towards the bottom at the end of round 1, because they got the snake draft into round 2. I feel like those teams could end up being the more well balanced teams here as well, just because you do get the turnover pick, and a lot of times that turnover pick can end up winning you drafts if you're looking at like fantasy drafts, things like that. Like when we're just talking like just regular sports in general, but nonetheless, is going to put Lurid back on the clock. I'm not sure if Lurid is picking or if Alberts is picking, because I saw something in the chat earlier from Albert, so we'll see if he's in here still, if he's going to come make this pick. He is here still. Okay, so Alberts, who you got here for Lurid's final pick?
For Lurid's pick, I'm being told by sources to pick Brave Cannon, so we're going to pick Brave Cannon.
All right, thank you. So Brave Cannon off the board. He's going to be joining Lurid 47, Daniel Dobskis, and Raiju.
I want to know whose sources are, where they're getting their sources
Yeah,
from. I need these sources. Oh.
And I believe we just got note that Fastball is going to get to come take his pick now.
Okay.
For his round 3 pick. He got the sheet. He's ready to go now with his final pick. So we'll see when he hops on in here.
Yeah.
Fastball, who you got
I'm
for
gonna
round
pick
3?
Razorback in all caps.
Razorback. All right, thank you very much.
Razorback in all caps.
Okay. So there you go. Razorback put on the board for that round number 3 pick. Still has the first round to pick to get as well when those free agents go. So let's take one last look at the players left on the board, as we're going to be heading into the substitute round next. Before that, though, a small little break, and when we come back, we get to go through these captains one last time to see who they want on their team. So we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the CCL Draft Day for the Summer 8s tournament. We got round 4 now to go through for these captains. One last choice to finish off your roster. Substitutes are up next, Cruz. And is there anything surprising you from the players that are left?
I mean, honestly, not really. There's not very many surprises. A lot of the big names that I was expecting to see go off the board early on, kind of off the board. I thought that Curve was going to get picked up earlier on. I honestly feel like I've seen his name before. A Bizzle as well. I feel like I've also seen before. So, I mean, those 2 players, maybe we'll see them go off the board here in this round. I feel like the Dank Tony as well. I feel like I've seen that name as well. So, I mean, a couple of these players I still expect to see get picked up, get put into this tournament. But I mean, just because they don't get picked up here doesn't mean they might not get used as well. Players drop out of these tournaments all the time, so we might end up seeing a couple players end up getting picked up later on as well, after the day is over as well from free agency. So we'll just end up seeing what these teams end up doing. But there's still a lot of good names here left on this board.
I have seen the Dang Tony a lot as well. A lot in chat today. I'm surprised he's not, with the amount of vouchers I'm seeing in chat, I'm surprised he hasn't been picked up. But anyways, we're gonna kind of hop on over back to the captain names, and we're gonna check out, because Fishity has got his round pick. Pretty sure we're starting with Fishity, if I'm not mistaken. No,
Yeah.
we're starting with 47. Sorry, we're starting with 47. So that's gonna be Albert's to hop back on in to give his last pick. So Albert's, why don't you
Alright,
start
Seymour,
us off?
You're asking for the sauce. So I'll hit you with the sauce later, but for now the sauce is saying Forbes.
Forbes. 30 under 30 right here.
Coming through. So I mean, Forbes is going to join Lurid, Daniel Dobsky, Raiju, and Brave Cannon. I mean, it's a pretty stacked roster, in all honesty. It's going to be one to beat. Lurid is always going to be nasty. So I mean, if he can get these players all in the same. Okay, let's be honest. Like 47 is disgusting. So if he can get all of
what
his
we
players,
saw in Carlton, I don't disagree with what.
I mean, Carlton in challengers. I mean, he's nasty.
Just like he was so insane on Carlton. But yeah, Josh is going to be on the clock now.
He's here already too.
What's
Josh,
up,
you
guys? Okay, so I received a little bit of intel. I'm gonna take A_Bizzle21.
A_Bizzle. Was I your intel?
No, no, you were not. Not my intel, but yeah, that's my pick. Thank you, guys.
All right, so A Bizzle from Purdue University gonna finally be off the board here. Fill into that round 4 substitute role for DTB Josh, and that's gonna put Plasma on the clock here.
Just as a reminder, everybody who is tuning into the stream, I will talk about it later on as well. But since I have a little bit of time right now, tournament on Saturday and Sunday will start at 1 p.m. So if you want to see the action, that's when to see it, right here, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Plasma's picking up Ben Wee.
So Ben Wee off the board. He's going to be joining Plasma, Qpan, Kirk, and Tempest Fong. We'll have to see what that team can do, but I mean, like I said, I really got to put your favorites towards those top 4 or 5 and those bottom 4 or 5, just because you get those top picks on the top 5, and then you get those top turnover picks towards the bottom. So I mean, I think it's honestly harder to be drafted in the middle, but these couple teams here, man, I think you gotta be watching out for them.
Well, with that, it's gonna put Mental onto the clock, and Mental, Taste, Crit, and Will already looking like a really good roster. Let's see what's gonna finish off for that substitute role.
All right, I'm gonna take your guys' advice and go with Curve.
Curve off the board. So
we were the source.
At this point, we have become the source.
We were the source.
I don't know how much I would trust our source, but you know, you know what? Good enough though. There we go.
That's gonna put Testin now on the clock.
Chat's really happy about Curve going off as well. So
let's see that. Testin, welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dang Tony out of Arizona State University.
All right, so all the names that we were listing off earlier going off the board now, Colin. I think we have become the source.
I mean, chat, they're vouching for him too.
They were vouching for the Dang Tony earlier on as well. So the Dang Tony going to be joining Testin, Scripps, Darkify, and Marky, and it's going to be Chugs who's coming up next. Oh, sorry, it's Beaston who's coming up next.
Yo.
What's up, Beaston? Who you got?
I'm gonna take Blake.
Blake. So from the top left of the player board, Blake finally off the board here as well. Going to be joining Beaston, Bolt the Unit, Decim, and Prison Hunter. That's going to put Buzz back on the clock here for his final pick as well. Colin, your roommate's still here, man.
You guys sleeping on my homie. You guys are sleeping on Chugs. Let the man fly.
See if anybody from if any of our fellow captains are going to be able to pick him up. Buzz, who you got here for round number 4?
Oh yeah, yeah it is. I'm gonna take the JMac1 or whatever that kid's name is. I don't know. Never heard of him.
All right. JMac1 off the board. Going to be joining Buzz, Benji, Petrovinator, and Mercury. That name is going to be a handful to cast later on, Colin, let me tell you.
I mean, I think you're having some troubles here.
I definitely am. We've already established that.
We got Venet on the clock, though.
All right. My final pick is going to be KO.
KO. Off the board. Joining the likes of Venet, Lack, JMac, and Neum onto this team. So Relic going to be on the board now. We'll see who he comes in and takes for his final pick here.
Yeah, with Ralk on the clock now, we get to see this one halfway through, I think. If I can math correctly.
See, I can't English, you can't math. That's why we work well together. But yes,
Exactly.
we've got 8 picks. We're halfway through. 8 more to go.
8 more to go. This is great, chat. I need to ask you right now. Right here is a list of teams. Who do you got? Who do you got so far with the finished teams?
That's a great question, actually. Who do you guys have as out of all these teams that you guys have seen so far from the first 3 rounds? Oh yes, that's right.
Ralk picks up Disruptor as well for a substitute role.
A good-looking team too, to be honest. You know, I take back what I said. I think any of these teams can honestly end up winning this whole thing. It's probably going to end up being who can work the most in unison with each other on who's going to be able to pick these up. It's either going to be that or somebody's just going to absolutely go off, and it's probably going to be 47. And he's.
I got excited because somebody in chat said Catalyst is the best team for sure, but that's Sampy, and Sampy's on Catalyst's team, so come on.
Catalyst just told him that he was going to get carried as well. So you know what?
That's the team that we're seeing.
You really don't know, guys. But nonetheless, it's going to be Catalyst who's on the board. Catalyst, welcome back. Maybe you can come tell us how much you're going to carry, Sampy.
Basically, my sub is going to be illy__
All right, we like it. Thank you very much.
Full name too.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. It's going to be Tactic on the board here for his final pick, but it's going to be Catalyst, T-shirt, Sampy, and Poshki. And then I believe did he say he just took as his final pick? I can't see it on the player names here. Yeah, I was just trying to see where it is on the player board here. I don't see the name he just brought up on this board exactly. So, because there's a lot of dashes and underscores, and I don't see him on any of the names up here. But, you know, I'm sure we'll get him filled on in.
Dang, guys, Chugs. Somebody's got to pick him up.
They heard your place in, and they weren't they're not about your roommate now.
No.
It looks like Tactic has made his pick as well. I believe it. I just saw somebody get filled on in, so I'm not sure if that pick got put through. Oh my god, we just got baited. we got baited so hard, but
you got baited.
No, Catalyst said he was taking Illy, as in like Illy with __ as he's talking about the pro player Illy. He baited us. It's okay.
Hello?
I see you, Catalyst.
Tactic, welcome.
There we go. Finally, I'm able to get in here. So for my 5th man of the year, I'm gonna get It's Magic Bear.
Love it. It's another name that I like.
Chat's asking you, Fishley's asking you, is Chugs a sub or an AR?
Who? He hasn't moved in yet, so I'm actually not too sure. I'm just hyping up my boy.
Alright, so yeah, Dr. Perseus going to be on the clock. We're getting into our final 5 picks here, Colin. And then I believe we're also, we're going to let Fastballer take his round 4 pick here, and then he's also going to take his round 1 pick as well at the very end of this round. So we'll see what he decides to do once we get back to there.
I don't know, everybody's vouching for Curve, man. You vouched for Curve? Oh.
Did Curve not get picked up? I
Oh
swear
yeah,
to God.
Curve
He
did get picked up. I'm like, people are still vouching for him. He got picked up, but
Come on,
Perseus.
Chat. Get it together.
Can I make a trade?
I don't believe so.
I have one player asking for a trade. But anyways, I'm gonna play Motion, teammate for a week, once.
All
Probably
right.
gonna be in the starting
Okay.
roster.
All right, so Motion
Okay.
probably going to be in the starting roster. Joining Afro, Wallismod, Castle, and Dr. Perseus here. And that's going to put fastball on the clock for his round 4 pick here.
Oh, my brothers. Wisdom's right next to me, and he's sincerely sorry that he missed the form sign up. Are you sincerely sorry? Yes. Yeah, he just said yes. So can we add him in as the 4th? And if not, we're gonna take curve_ball as our 5th.
All right, so Curve_ball going to be joining for round 4. That's just something that you're going to have to take up with the admins. That's not really on me and
But
calling
like,
up here.
Wisdom is actually very sorry. If you guys won't give him a second chance, like, I mean, Jesus would, but it's all good. We're gonna move on.
I actually believe that your last pick is already been
We're gonna
picked as well.
take Sly.
All right, Sly.
Sly. Off
Sly
the
is-
board. Thank you so much, Bala.
That's gonna be Red Chase on the clock. Last pick ready, and I got some insider info, Cruz.
Oh,
for
no.
this one.
Oh,
This
no,
is gonna
what's-
be a
what's the
big
insider
pick.
info?
This is gonna be a big pick. That's all
Is
I
it
can
your
tell
boy?
you. That's all I can tell you. It's gonna be a big pick.
Is your boy coming off?
I'm sorry.
Right now?
I'm not taking any questions other than that.
Oh, okay.
No questions.
You guys see what I have to deal with in chat.
So
Just wait on Red Chase to be pulled on up here. And once he does, we'll find out who he takes to join Draco, Itchy, and Crazy Train. Red Chase, welcome back once again.
I'm gonna let that man's wings fly. I'm gonna kick Chugs.
Yo, let him fly. That's what I'm talking about.
Chugs has been pulled off the board. Seymour's roommate going to be joining the likes of Red Chase. I mean, hey, that's a great person to make a good for CCL connection with is Red Chase. That man is a beast. We've seen him multiple years in the CCL, but nonetheless, that's going to put Crooked back on the clock. So Snow, once we pull Snow back on up here, Snow, who you got for round 4 for Crooked's team?
I'm gonna be taking John Valvoline.
Okay. Here we go. Closing off on the roster with John Valvoline. That's gonna be Snow and Crooked's roster.
That's probably
John.
my favorite name from this whole thing so far.
Yeah.
John Valvoline. What a name.
Shout out John Valvoline.
What a
If you-
name. Nonetheless, Fishity's going to be on the clock now. Final pick of the tournament. Assuming Fastball can't get his boy in here. We'll have to see by the end of this. We're just going to be waiting on a note from our TOs to figure out what we're going to do with that whole situation that's going on there. Maybe he might not make a final pick here. He'll just pick somebody up after. But nonetheless, we're just waiting for Fish to get pulled up on into the draft board once again to take his final pick here to join himself, Purge Army, Zip, and Records COD. Fishy, welcome back. Final pick of the draft. Who you got here for round 4?
I'm doing a little bit more research. I'm gonna need a little bit more time.
All right.
How much time does he have
Yeah,
left?
they
You
get 1 minute.
still got a lot of time left, so take your time.
Teams are really starting to fill out though, eh?
Every team is looking to get filled out so far. I mean, hope Fastball I can figure out who's first is. We got to go back to him after this to see that. Okay, so
we won't be going back to Fastball.
Thank you, Benji.
We love Benji. If you guys don't know, by the way, Benji is the GOAT producer. He's in our ears all the time for CCL. He is you guys see all the love that the CDL gives their producers and that. But
Let me get 3 deadly shots.
3 deadly shots coming in as the final pick for Fishity's team, and that's gonna round out and finish up our draft. These are our final teams here.
It's final teams. Chat, what do you think?
Got any early favorites?
I heard that Crooked's team looks nasty. I think that 47's team looks nasty. Catalyst liked.
I was gonna say I don't think Catalyst can be slept on at all either.
No.
And I mean Red Chase, man, he took your boy.
Yeah, he did. He said to me that he is going to be giving him some playtime too. So excited to see that. That's the things you'll love to see.
Yeah, absolutely love to
Hello,
hear it.
hello. I'm back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Sorry for the troll, guys. Bit of a unfortunate thing. Sorry.
That was the worst.
I guess for my final sub spot, I'm gonna take Wahab 18. I heard he's coming to UTD. I don't know how good he is, but you know, if worst comes to worst, like you know, he might have to play.
All right, thank you very much, Catalyst. And Wahab 18 will be joining his team of T-shirts, Poshki, and himself. So I mean, very good looking team here. Obviously, all the players are going to be all 16 of these teams are going to be shuffled up and put into our 16-team double elimination bracket that will be starting on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If we can just take a look at that bracket, that'd be...
Boom. Bracket. Look at this. This is gonna be great. I'm so excited to see what comes through this. So as soon as this bracket is gonna be out, just as a reminder, it isn't going to be seeded into it. It's gonna be totally random on who plays who in that first round. It is gonna be a double elimination bracket, and whoever fights through that losers bracket all the way to the end and makes it back into the grand finals, you're gonna have to win 2 best-of-5s if they want to take the cheese at the end of the road. But this is gonna be exciting. I love what we saw in the teams. Love what we got so far from the captains as well. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Albert, for showing up for 47. Same with Snow for showing up for Grit, coming out here. Yeah,
a big shout out to everybody, even all the people in CCL and eFuse putting this tournament on together. I mean, it's going to be a very fun tournament. I just love the whole idea of the tournament, of it being teams that you haven't played with before. It's kind of like a schoolyard game, right? Where you're going through, you're picking up a bunch of people. You never want to be last pick, but luckily they didn't, choose an exact amount of people, so it's very good here. But I mean, I'm just excited, man. I can't wait to get into the action on Saturday.
We're all excited to see what happens. So let's take a look at our schedule now, Cruz, and run through what we're gonna see for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, no stream. Scrim Day on the 13th. On the 14th is when the action is gonna start. 1 p.m. Eastern time. The tournament day 1. Same thing with day 2. Same exact time. Next day to finish this one off. Prizing at the bottom, $1,000 in total, $600 to first place, $300 to second place, and $100 to third place. Big shout out for eFuse for helping us put this one together. So would it not be possible without them? But Cruz, it's been an amazing draft day. Can't wait to see what these teams have to bring in the coming tournament. So we should let them get to the scrimming. We should let them set up and talk to their teammates. We're going to close out for right now. I hope you all have a fantastic night. Can't wait to see you on Saturday.